Okay. Been about a week later. Got a couple more things interesting done, whatever, and then went back, did some other shit. So I may have already covered this. I don't know. But here's the deal. On the master cylinder, there is, they say you can get a disc drum master. So I have my original master. My original master looks just like this. And I assume that's the original because it looks like everything I've seen on others. There is no little spring in here. The rear reservoir is not the same size. So when you go online and you look up difference between dual or disc and disc drum, it says that stuff. But the problem is, like 79, that was kind of the first years they started doing this with disc. So I don't know where that comes from. Supposedly, this one is big, so it'll last the lifetime of the brakes. They figure there's enough in there that once the front piston goes out and it stays out, then it'll be full. They could push it all back in or replace it, whatever. But that was the only reason for that I can see. So then I got asking questions. I'm like, well, if there's a difference, why is the difference in the master? Why is the combo valve different too? It didn't make any sense. So I think a lot of guys are just repeating, and I talked to Inline Tube, I talked to Parts Place, and they looked at stuff because I'm like, rather than just throwing it in and it works half-assed, I want it to be right. I want to understand why. So that's the first thing they say. They go, well, there's a 2-pound residual in here. Not on the Trans Am stuff. And I don't know about anything else because this is all I've got to take apart. I ordered this one, which was a old stock from 15, 20 years ago. And I think it was built by Cardone. It looks exactly like this one. There is no residual 2-pound valve in it. The orifices are the same size. I hooked up a line to it and then just pumped it on the bench. Same amount of fluid comes out. They're both the same size piston, 1.125 inches. So having talked to a few different people, and smart guys, I questioned why there was another pro valve if these were different. If these are different and already reducing the amount of pressure, then you don't need the pro valve. But they want to insist that you got the right one, and that is this one. And on this one, there's no machining at the front. If there's machining at the front and it's got the little rubber thing in it, supposedly that's disc drum. This one, and if you look it up on Jegs or any place, it'll tell you that. So if that's what that is, I couldn't see needing to know. So I had already put this one on, but I pulled it back apart because it was a different part number I ordered. This is the one I got from the Parts Place. And when I called them, they said, yeah, it's for 4-wheel disc. Well, when I got it here, I didn't even think about it. It looked the same, so I just put it on. Well, then I got questioning myself, and then we're talking about this, somebody says this could have a smaller orifice. It could have a 2-pound, it should have a 2-pound valve. Because this part number, if you look it up on AC Delco, that comes back to a disc drum. So my question then, I'm asking different people, I'm like, did they even really have the disc? Because if not, they would have labeled it disc drum, not drum. It's for a disc car. And I think what all that I can come up with is that they're the same. It's the same freaking part. And it's meant for a disc car. And then when GM adds that, all they did was change this. Now the original looks a little different, but they're producing that for the disc. And yes, I know the original, and I don't even know if it's back here anywhere. Yeah, there it is. There's the original one. All right. So that's all I can come up with. It doesn't hold. If you order the disc drum from Parts Place, it's that one right there. It's on the car. I put pressure on the brake lines to see if it held anything. And then I was like, that's not good enough. And I just went ahead and pulled it all apart, looked in there. There is nothing. You can just freaking blow puff air back into it. So as long as you're ordering and you got this car, get the right pro valve, combo valve they call it, and order this one. That's the part number I showed you earlier. It'll work because I got Tammy out here. She's pushing on the brakes just slightly, and I can feel it just starting to grab, and then I feel it on the rear just starting to grab. I'm like, it's going to be fine. But, you know, when we get anal about all this shit, you're trying to figure out exactly what's what. I just want to do it once. So that's where I'm at. I'm happy with it, going back. I got that stuff back together. I'm just going to show you some of these because these pictures are always good to see how things were done. I went ahead and put gas in it just now, sucked some gas up here. So I've got gas up to the carburetor. I just got the carburetor put back on. This is one that I ordered. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the original. And like a 1705, 9263, whatever. And I sent it off to have it restored. Did a really decent job. I mean, these were the original pieces, kind of a little bumpy, but the rest of it, he did a really nice job. Since I pulled everything off, there's no vacuum lines hooked up. There's honestly not even a vacuum advance because I'm running 32 locked out on this thing. I may change that stuff, but you got to remember this stock looking motor is putting out a little over 400 horsepower. And that's double what it did from the factory. So did a little searching around too for the battery. Finally found the right, or the one I wanted. But I had to re-drill that back there because I don't know what these were expected to hold, but the holes are all the way here forward. It would have had this, it's just in the wrong place somehow. So that's all I can come up with. And I remember I did one once before and I just re-bent it, but I'm not sure because that's as far forward as that can go. And if it's in the hole, this is actually out here another ½ inch and it don't even line up. The only thing I can think of is maybe I got that wrong, but I don't think so. So, I just crawled under where I had, on the exhaust where the pipes meet at the muffler, there's a 30-second, just a little bit before I clamped that down, but you can never clamp it right. So one thing I did, Got the Muffler Shop suggested it. It was just wrap some, so right here is where they meet. I wrap some tape around and just on my finger, just squeeze some gold RTV in there. And if there's any little gap at all, it'll fill it up. So fill that up in there, let it harden. I'll do that tomorrow. And everything is nice and tight. I mean, damn near too tight. Now that I'm looking at it, I almost wish I'd gave it a little more space. But I got a 1/4 inch between the floorboard and everything. And so the exhaust is all done. This thing's been off and on freaking 8 times. I'm happy with that now. And now I'm just going to move slow because a lot of guys want to see where the wiring and stuff goes. Positive just runs over to the alternator right there. Then down to the starter. The purple line. Yeah, I can't even see where. Maybe that's the purple. That's the purple one. So that one's running from inside down. This red one here is basically the battery that hooks up everything for all the power. But I don't have anything on this. There's no power anything on this car. It was no power windows, no nothing. They ordered it with a big motor, 4-speed. Obviously ran the hell out of it. But here's just some more shots. This don't belong here, but I put it there because I wanted it there. It's space for it, so I did it. It's either there or over on the head. Whatever the temperature is, I'll be fine with. I can double check that infrared, but that's it. I plugged every hole on this. I kept this vacuum for the little heat coil in there for the choke. I just wanted everything as stock looking as possible. These aren't even hooked up to anything, but they filled the holes. So when you look in here, you'll be like, oh, it's stock. Yeah. Okay. Granted, a 4-cylinder turbo Civic will outrun it, but this is American stuff, so it sounds good. That's it. That's all I've got. I'll fire it up once. I said I'm not concerned with the motor because we already dynoed it. I mean, I imagine shit can happen, but I'm not too concerned. But I wanted to at least fire it, have everything's working, and then I'll go ahead and put the radiator, the shroud, the fan, because when you if you have to pull something apart, it sucks. So this will run, as soon as it starts, I'm just going to run it for a minute, and then I'll put all this together, and then basically I am done with the motor stuff. Wiring's already done. Everything's in there except the clutch lockout. Hadn't decided if I'm going to jumper that or not. I may just jump that because I'm not ever going to start it with the clutch in or with the car in gear. So, and if I do, I push the clutch. That's all there is. It's just habit. So that's honestly it. Can't think of nothing else. Went and got hoses. This was a little odd. I may have already covered it. It looked small, but I guess it's not. And this one came with the spring in it. It's a Gates. There's the part number. There's the part number. And that's it. Since I'm going to let that RTV dry, I think I'm just going to start sanding on the back piece, because I got all that. Whoops, pull it up. I got the rods all in there. This was one odd thing. This rod kind of wanted to really jump up there, so I just tie wrapped them together. I mean, it didn't take much, but it's just, I don't know, kind of one of those things that bugs you a little bit. And that is it. Hopefully now I can get started on stuff. Obviously, you know, it's raining here. Rained like hell yesterday. And just all that hurricane stuff getting up here to Ohio. But like I said, I can get back to doing some work on this. I've got a ton of polishing to do. I gotta polish every piece in here, and the nose pieces there. That's all I've got left to paint. Nose piece, bumper, rear bumper, and they're plastic, so I'll just wait on them. Honestly, I may not even do that till beginning of summer, or spring after the first year, because that's all the little stuff I got. But I can get, you know, if I run out of things to do on the car, polishing, and I've got seats, so I can get seats covered. I think, I mean, that's damn near everything. I had one guy, he posted something and I helped him out a little, and he asked about it. Guys were just listing headlight buckets for sale, but these are all different. If you don't know, they're labeled A, B, C, and D because they're meant for left, right, high bulb, high beam, low beam. And it's actually stamped right here. Can't see it that good. I can't see it since I ain't got my glasses. But if you look, it's stamped on either side here, A, B, C, and D. And I don't know. I guess you can put the bulbs in there. They don't sit just right if they're not right. Then you can adjust them up. But trust me, they are for each particular spot. So and I posted that, I saw that because I just see a lot of them for sale, but nobody ever puts which one they are. So I think most people just assume they're the same. That's it, guys. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the frickin' brake thing, and then just redid it literally for 2 or 3 days over and over. So I've got, here's another one. I had got 10-17-45. That was the Cardone one. And I think this one. So they were coming from different places, same numbers. That's it. I think you're fine if you order it and you understand how it works, how the brake systems work, then you'll be fine. They make some that are, if you went to O'Reilly's and tried to order one, it's this weird looking one with really, they call it the round one. See, these are square. The other one's big, tall chrome things, and it's rounded at the back. If you order what they say to get, it's that one. But I didn't like it because it looked goofy. And that looks much more original. And it will work. Yeah, that's it. You'll know what to look for. All right, guys. Talk to you later.